Phil Bell, by the time he was introduced, already seen both sides of the criminal underworld. Being connected to the Pegorinos, though, definitely made his life change for the worse. Being the lane he was in, along with the people in it, started to change as time went. Paranoia became a thing for him after the RICO Act got a lot of people to turn to LC and Ardeny, even serving time for it 3 years before '08. During this, he lost his family, getting divorced and separated from his kids because of the life he lived. And to top that off, the thing he was in, he didn't have room to grow. The only thing he got in return for his devotion was a manager role for a strip club, of course, Jimmy Pegorino owned. These things led Phil to want out in a way, but he still had to play his role in the family while leaving that option on the table, planning his escape in the most subtle way possible without it being obvious. Luckily for him, he wasn't bringing problems for the Pegorinos. As we know, it was Ray Bocino after the diamond disaster. The two would be on the phone, so when Ray said something telling about him.
Yeah, sure, Phil, sure. Hey, Phil, listen, you know me, and I know you.
The two can't be really blatantly disrespectful to each other, but Ray saying this showed he knew things on Phil, something he wanted to remind him about. We can't hear what his response was, but the two played chess with each other while still not trying to reveal too much. But again, this phone call shows Ray knew of his ways. With the things he knows, though, he couldn't just go to Pegorino, especially with being $2 million in the hole and not paying tribute, something Phil had to one of his many advantages from this point forward.
I didn't mean nothing by it. Hey, take it easy. Oh, Phil, take it easy. Hey, listen, tell Jimmy I said hello. Okay. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
By the time Nico met Phil himself, he seemed to again play his role, but with this also shows his mindset about things at this point, being around Ray.
You sure this guy's
I'm
all right?
telling you, the guy's
You
good.
checked him out?
Hey, here he is right here. Phil Nico. Nico Phil.
So you're the guy who got jumped for a couple of million?
Yeah, you gonna pop me for it?
No, I've heard good things. Some odd friends, but you know, what are you gonna do?
You're right. I've been keeping bad company.
Oh, you mean this guy? He's okay. Well, he pays up, and he ain't gone states yet.
Very funny, ha.
This was Phil definitely giving us some insight as far as the company he keeps. Ray is only tolerated by Phil at this point because he is of course in the Pegorino family. He didn't even pit Ray turning states past him, which shows Phil knowing it's only a matter of time something like this can happen. But aside from this, he's still seen the player's role, having Nico contribute to weaken the lost in Ardeny. But with this, as Nico's leaving, Phil's slick ways shows. With the back and forth him and Ray had, he uses Ray messing up the diamond deal to get the attention off him. But Ray here saw through what he was trying to do.
Listen, we got a lot of missing money, and we got a problem with these fucking bikers. So we sent some of our boys after the money. Maybe you can deal with the bikers. Calm them down. They're causing trouble on the corner of Vauxhall and Exeter.
Sure.
Otherwise, you and Raymond here got a serious problem. The boss has got to get paid. Even when people forget to tell him about things they're working on.
Don't bust my balls. What's the point of talking about things unless they become real?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you're sure, Phil. You of all people.
Now what the hell does that mean?
Nothing. I mean, come on. You're a guy who knows what's what, right, Phil? Take it easy.
But with the two stuck to deal with each other, a lot of gripes just stayed between them the best way they could. Ray had Nico meet with Phil down the line as insurance in a way, so when we see more insight on Phil's life and what he didn't mind leaving if it came down to it. Ray again having Nico meet him at his place of business, this shows how he didn't fully rely on Pegorino, saying that to say this was something he could fall back on, whether if it was for a front or something profitable, showing his long-term moves. He's about to learn someone close just snitched, but he keeps his cool. But with things like this going on for a while, he again realizes things are closing in, but with this, he still had to earn. Ray messed up with the diamonds, but Phil had something, leading them to continue to play chess.
Huh? That thing? Our friend did what? 37 and 8? No. What about them swingers? How's Molly? The kids? Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go. Ciao. Hey, Ray. So, who's the pal? Phil, you remember Nico? He's a good friend of mine.
Right here, Ray calling Nico a friend of his was a part of their lingo, him basically telling Phil he's an associate, but with that phone call shows he's worried about new faces, especially with this new face being with Ray.
Can we talk? Sure we can talk, as long as you don't talk too much. Interesting times, you know what I mean? Did you hear about our friend, the guy with the thing? Yeah, you mean Harry the guy with the hat. No, the guy with the, you know, the bada beep bada boop. Yeah, the guy with the, and the, yeah, that guy. Yeah. I heard. So be cool, Ray. Listen, I need to speak to you alone. Yeah, Phil, see, that's the thing. I kinda know what you're gonna ask, and I can't. What do you mean you can't? I can't do it, Phil. I got a lot of interest right now, business is really taking off, and I don't want any distractions. Well, as you can see, I got my own issues here.
Ray doesn't want to help Phil for the fact of him messing up recently, not trying to make Phil look like the better earner, which is why he brought Nico. After him being around didn't help, thinking it would be the same result. But with this helped Phil with his plan, while still being cautious, of course.
Look, Nico is good. He'll do what you need. And you say he's a friend of yours. Sure. Good to meet you. Yeah, come here. The Triads have this big chunk of brown they're desperate to get rid of. Talking about it all over town. Wanting to offload it at any price. They think it's cursed or something. Prove it is. Take it from them. It's loaded into a truck going to Franklin Street and West Dyke. Get a hold of it and give me a call. Sure. But Mr. Bell, it's going to cost you. You got it, no problem. Great. Say, nice stereo you got there, Phil. Thanks. Yeah, so Philly, you ever hear from your ex-wife? What kind of question is that? Just asking. Get the hell out of here. Every time, this motherfucker.
Things going how it needed to, Nico's still in this cursed age, kept him looking normal within the family after he managed to do this for years, seeming not doing too much or saying too much, but still bringing things to the table. But during this, it's revealed he had side things going on. Being that it was revealed, he was doing hitman work after he gives him the fixer's number.
Nico, you looking for more work?
I'm always looking to earn a bit of extra cash.
Great. I know a guy who needs a man like you. Only operates on an outside line, though. Go to the payphone on the corner of Vitulo and Hardtack. He'll call you.
The fixer even brings up to Nico how smart Phil was in this line of work.
What's your deal?
People come to me when they need something handled. I come to people like you when I need someone handled. Do you get me, brother?
I get you.
When you've taken care of something for me, call me on my cellular, but no specifics. Phil's good at that. I only talk business on a hard line.
This is important for the fact alone, him being involved in this type of crime, with no one in the family taking notice, shows how low-key he really was. He still made his own moves, along with seeming to the family he was just all for the family. And with Ray being the one more out there, Phil was the best one in Pegorino's mind he can call on, saying not to say Phil in a way manipulated Pegorino's trust, something we see when the two was brought up by Pegorino himself.
Anthony!
Yo!
Did Phil call?
Not yet, boss. Ray called.
Of course he did. I wonder, is it better to have a talented snake or a stoical lion who's gonna be cut down in his prime? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You do. But I ain't gonna push.
He refers to Phil as a guy who doesn't complain, him being a historical lion. In his eyes, again, he gained his trust, having Pegorino think he was really different.
He was nothing to me until he started earning big and sticking his nose in places it didn't belong.
Rats seem to get everywhere you don't want them to be.
Phil's different. He's been my man for a while.
But But this was how Phil won in the end. He didn't let people hear him complain or say anything out of pocket, on top of bringing things to the table. The next time he met with Nico, at first he plays his role, something of course he did with everyone. But what he really felt about things shows, something he hides on this day-to-day.
Check this out. 7-horse, 7-race,
Hey,
Joe
Phil.
What? Hey, pal. What's going on?
Not too much. How are you?
I'm good. Want to walk and talk?
Sure.
Tommy, give me a call if my big buddy calls. Tell him I went out to get some fresh air.
No problem.
Ridiculous! I'm a grown man walking around like a chump. I'm sorry about this.
Hey, no problem.
Him breaking here is what he doesn't show, especially to Pegorino. Trying to fill Nico out though, he brings up someone obviously on his mind, along with someone that introduced it to.
So you're a friend of Ray's?
A friend? No, I do some work for him.
No, I mean a friend.
I don't understand. Whatever you say. He's a slime ball, but he pays.
Sure, pal, sure. Listen to me. The thing about Ray is, he's a good earner. He talks a lot of shit, but he's a good earner. Tabish.
He's a rat, doing an impression of a man.
Nico explaining his thoughts about Ray started to make Phil open up just a little bit, but not fully yet. He lets this be known when Jimmy leaves him a message, being that again, Phil made him comfortable with being the only one that can get things done, with no problem or question.
That's pretty good.
Phil! Phil!
What? What do you want?
Mr. Boss, said you gotta head down to docks. Emergency. Said you'd understand.
Ah, shit, it's 3 days early. Man on the meal, what am I gonna do?
What's the problem?
Nico, I'm gonna have to take a chance with you, pal.
Nico then is told what he need help with, but what this shows us a lot. Firstly, his paranoia for the feds shows off the rip, but he kept his mind open to this for the fact alone of what can happen outside of a fed case, which was being killed by his own organization if he didn't think ahead for himself.
You scan this thing for bugs?
No, but we can be pretty sure it's clean. Chill out.
All right. It's just that if we get caught on this one, you and me is going down for a long time. And that means that certain people is gonna assume we're rat, which means we'll get whacked.
He even explains being cautious to in fact be survival, especially with how the things within the Pegorinos became.
You're working with the wrong people if you expect them to whack you if you go inside. Where's the trust, Phil?
It's about survival. If someone who knew what I knew got flipped, then the whole organization will go down. Whacking someone who catches some heavy time is just an insurance policy. And it don't help that not everyone in the organization is pulling in the same direction.
Everyone pulling in the same direction is why he goes out his way to be different. He then shows more of how he personally feels about Ray once the two actually get to the truck. He even points out the fact he knows the advantage he had over him after he seen Ray's moves firsthand. But with this is when he started to use Nico as a pawn, in a way, hearing how he felt earlier about him. He's about to be seen and heard down in Ray, but with this, something telling shows.
You know something? I would have liked Ray to be on this job instead of me. But there's some things that he ain't trusted with.
I don't think I'd trust him to send me on another job after the shit he had me doing.
After all of that, you guys didn't even get the diamonds. That wasn't a successful operation by any way you look at it. I'm hoping that this endeavor is going to be more fruitful.
For the record, I did everything I was meant to do. The problem was Ray's planning and the amount of people involved. Too many people wanted their dice. No one was ever going to end up with it.
Well, a lot of people want to get a hold of this merchandise as well. By your logic, that means it's going to end up dissolving into the Humboldt River. I don't want that to happen.
Me neither. Maybe if we want it more than anyone else, we'll be able to hang on to it.
It's gonna take more than wanting it real bad. It's gonna take a clear head. Ray's a greedy rat. He wants this stuff more than anyone else. But that don't mean he's gonna get it. He's got his eyes on my position. The skip is too, I'm sure. Wanting it and getting it are two different things, though. Every move he makes is so obvious. It's disgusting to see him trying to sleaze his way up the ladder.
Him thinking Ray wanted his spot shows he looked at Ray as a threat, being that again, he seen the ambition he had. Although Nico didn't fully like Ray, he still gives him the benefit of the doubt, to when we see Phil have fear of Ray coming out on top.
His moves might be easy for you to see, but maybe they're working. Maybe he's getting somewhere. He definitely knows a lot of people.
Shit, if anyone does start listening to Ray's shit, then I could be in some trouble. I'm hoping that day don't come.
They then steal the Russian's coat to when again this being done, Pegorino had nothing to worry about regarding Phil. He gave an order and he got it done. He was even iffy on the plan Pegorino set up, doing it a whole different way. But the fact he still at least tried his plan is again why he was praised by him. Nico, of course, being the guy who had a line as far as orders, he brings up the fact you have to think for yourself. Phil knew this though, but him being smart, he didn't confirm or deny this, trying not to say too much to get him in trouble.
That's the way things work. You ain't gonna be happy about everything you get told to do, are you?
You're the boss. It ain't like I'm working for free.
No, you ain't, and I ain't neither. That's why we gotta at least try to do what we're told to do. You're gonna learn that there ain't much in this life that you got control of. Whether you're putting yourself in harm's way because that's the way the skipper wants it done, or you're staying away from your kids because of a stupid court order and a malicious bitch of an ex-wife. There ain't that much control in anything.
I've been around long enough to know that there is some things that we don't have a choice about. But there's other times where you got to look at something and make a decision for yourself. I can't follow every order I'm given.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. Maybe you ain't. I don't know.
With the H cooling off, something being Phil's idea, and now the cocaine from the Russians turning out fine, the Pegorinos were in a good spot to go up. But an Ancelotti's capo puts it together that they were responsible for taking said coke, leading Phil to prevent this from being told. Instead of him doing it though, he again used Nico to get it done, something I doubt Pegorino knew about.
Did you see a fucking helicopter on your way here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's go. Come on, quick. We gotta head towards Portuda.
The reason for this was obviously for the fact if this was leaked, it would be hard to make money, something that could have led being on Pegorino's bad side.
You want me to take this fat man out before that happens?
If you don't, then it'll be the Pegorinos going to the mattresses with every one of the Liberty City families. Not only is we gonna be looking over our shoulders every 2 seconds, but we ain't gonna be able to earn.
Well, I'll do my best to shut him up then.
Great, I gotta go get noticed so I ain't a suspect.
But Nico doing this again helped him save face. At this point, he knew why Nico was around, not for anything more but money. But him being around though, he runs into something Ray told him about, doing him helping. Again, for the fact of the two playing chess.
Nicky, I got a piece of advice for you. Stay away from Phil. He's causing himself some problems. Getting too close to the skipper's wife. I mean, you got a whole city full of potential lays and he's chasing the skipper's coos.
That is not my business.
I don't want to see you get caught up in it, that's all. Just looking out for you, pal.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, okay.
You take care now.
I'll see you later. Give me a call.
Hey.
As many know, this was Pegorino's wife he's seen talking to. But with him knowing how people talk, he found himself in a pickle, leading him to try to explain himself.
It's not what it looks like.
Okay.
It's not like that. We talk. So do us all a favor and keep quiet.
Sure. But Phil, and I don't mean to take advantage, but maybe I need help on time. Maybe I can give you a call.
What do you mean?
I mean, I need to find something out about someone. Maybe you can help.
Are you fucking blackmailing me?
No! I'm asking for a favor. Why do you think I put my neck on the line for you? Because I need help with something.
And here's when Phil fully understood Nico's motive with things, leading him to try and help him before moving the heroin he took from him earlier. But back to him being around Pegorino's wife, he reveals their relationship to when something is telling.
You had, any more girlfriends since the ex-wife?
If you're getting smart about seeing Angie at my place, then you can button it. The two of us is just friends. We talk. We both gotta take a lot of shit from Jimmy, and it helps to speak about it.
I wasn't making no accusations.
The two being around Pegorino for some time, they bonded over venting about him. The only reason he's truthful here was again Ray would see this and think something else, making sure Nico wouldn't see it that way either.
Yeah? Well, that's something that Ray likes to run his mouth about.
Although their relationship wasn't anything other than a friendship though, him talking about Pegorino behind his back was still something out of line. He just knew she wouldn't run back and tell on him for gain.
Ray runs his mouth so much that no one pays much attention to what comes out of it.
I'd believe it. I'd be dead already if Jimmy P listened to anything he said about me.
But by the time they get to the spot where the heroin was, one of the things he looked out for and was cautious about happens, regardless of the steps he took to avoid this trouble about to happen.
I got the horse loaded into 2 cars for you.
I don't know, this don't feel right. Shit, Frankie, you dumb fuck! The feds have been watching us all along.
Escaping the feds, luckily, went how he wanted to, leading him to still be a guy to call on, even going to say how this is going to help the family.
Jesus, sometimes I wish I could just go inside and forget about all this. Nice driving, Nico. We're gonna be able to shift this H for a lot of money. Might just keep the Pegorino family's head above water. See you around.
But with the feds being around, and again things closing in, a meeting is set by Pegorino to when a lot is shown. Before this, Phil would be served a warrant along with Pegorino, but he's still the calmest one, something that helped him, as we're about to see. While Ray would be seen as the bad apple, but that's what Phil set it up to be. He knew the lengths he would go and how Pegorino looked at him, leading him to say a popular opinion during this sit-down.
Problem with this guy's I can't even think straight. Yeah, he's always
There he
talking.
is! Welcome to the war council, my boy.
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Nothing. Discussing pest control.
Well, I've given you my advice, Peg. You do what you think is best.
Not even needed to stick around, him giving Pegorino confidence for him to do what's best took attention off him. He already was trusted, so nothing abnormal was seen in Peg's eyes. Ray would also try the same thing, along with trying to look like the better choice, even with him adding problems recently, which doesn't help his case.
I agree.
Finally.
I mean, I don't agree with what he says. I agree that you know best.
Excuse me?
Relax. I didn't mean nothing by it. Look, either we make the right call or we all end up in prison anyway. Well, your crap ain't gonna do me no favors.
Be careful. I'll see you later. Boss, gentlemen.
You're only an associate, Phil. Remember that.
Yeah, okay, tough
Boss,
guy.
I gotta tell you this. He's not straight. Right before I came in here, I saw him talking to Angie again.
You better leave. I need to speak to Nico.
Sure, boss. But, think about what I said,
I will.
you know?
Trust me on that. We got real problems.
With the two gone, it's revealed who Pegorino wants gone. He's about to be seen talking from paranoia, although he kinda hit things on the nail.
I gotta shut someone up and show people I mean business. I've known Phil a long time. He's straight, more or less. I know him and Angie are friends, but that don't worry me too much. Maybe he's too straight.
He looked at Phil to be loyal to the end, giving him that branch. But he was right about Phil. He was too straight, not even realizing the reason him and his wife was so close was for the fact they both get what they feel about Pegorino off. Remember earlier, he looked at Phil to be the stoical lion. At this point, everything said up until this point, he's actually the talented snake, playing a yes man role. Ray is for another video, but if you think about it, Ray never complained and was loyal for what it's worth. But him being young and having an example of what he thought loyalty was, being Phil, he was tricked in a way, thinking Ray was nothing more than someone to not trust. He even used Phil not getting along with him as one of the reasons to have Nico kill him, showing more of how Phil manipulated Pegorino's decision.
Then there's Ray. I don't know. I don't trust him. But he's a good earner. I know he's got his eye on the big prize, but he's no dummy. Him and Phil hate each other. I gotta think about it.
Okay.
I'll give you a call. Whoever I say to go see him. And shut him up!
Nico waiting for Pegorino to make his decision. Phil calls Nico to when of course something telling is shown.
Nico, you heard anything from Jimmy P or Ray? I swear, Ray's up to something. He's gonna get real hurt if he's trying to get me clipped.
I ain't heard nothing, Phil. Everything's cool. Just sit tight.
Yeah. That's easy for you to say.
He was seen playing it cool at the sit down, but him showing concern, even threatening to kill Ray, shows how intimidated he was of his presence. But down the line, Pegorino made his choice off again, thinking Phil was the more solid one. And finally, the next time we see or hear from him was when Pegorino connected with Dimitri for the heroin Nico stole. Pegorino trusting him more than ever before at this point. he's 100% sure Phil being there with Nico could help him not worry about this deal.
Look, Phil will look after you. You won't even have to deal with the fucking Russians. He's waiting for you down in Tudor.
Let's say you do the deal ending. He makes it be clear after things of course go bad that their only goal was to get the money, to keep Pegorino happy and get the money for himself. Even with Dimitri betraying Pegorino here, after already not trusting him when they met earlier, but he didn't say what he felt on it to him because he was getting paid too.
Fucking Dimitri! He's killed the guys collecting the stuff!
Shit, we're screwed. They ain't gonna let us leave. All right, if we're fighting for the money. We got to jump on them right now.
Once they get the money, Phil disappears never to be seen, but Pegorino tells us what happened, giving us an idea of what happened to him.
We're back on top, Nico. The Pegorinos is still somebody. Phil's bringing me my taste of the cash, and Dimitri still got hold of the horse. This is perfect!
He dropped off Pegorino his percentage, but after this, I feel at this moment he got out after Pegorino and Dimitri still was dealing with each other. He wasn't even mentioned when Pegorino talks about how things were going at the end.
What's the problem? Me and you's partners now. We're back on top.
But the real ending is what's more telling. Nico not doing the deal, Phil calls him.
Hey, Phil, I understand why you made the decision you did. For what it's worth, I didn't trust that Dimitri neither.
Yeah, well, I did what I had to do.
Anyway, you and me can't talk no more. Jimmy's falling apart. The Pegorinos ain't nothing no more. I'm out, man. Goodbye.
Him not standing with Pegorino, even after this far, shows how he ended up being a talented snake. He didn't even tell Pegorino he's out, leaving him to his own paranoia and dreams, along with Pegorino still being seen to think he was killed, thinking he would never do what he did.
You smart fucking bitch! After all I done for you, you play me like this? The horse is gone and I can't get Phil on the phone. Who knows what happened to him?
Even after the smoke cleared, it's then revealed Phil was still wanted for a RICO charge, so when he still had to use being low-key to keep himself out of the system, whereas before it was that or be killed. As many know, in the early stage of GTA 4, he was supposed to choose either taking out Ray or Phil, a historical lion being Ray, or a talented snake being Phil. Being 10% Italian, he couldn't even be made, another reason why it was easy for him to walk away. After this was removed from the game, but still, regardless of that, Phil Bell saw the direction everyone around him wanted to go, which made him play his role more than ever before. Him being around Pegorino for a long time, all he had to do was be a yes man and bring things to the table. At some point his loyalty was more genuine, but with doing time, losing his family, and seeing the Pegorinos run into a wall they didn't see, on top of trying to survive, that's why he used seeming content along with his loyalty to escape the mob untouched.